meeting of the year. It's my intent. Thank you for the fine staff that we have here to make sure that we are fully informed, our confidential information to all of our commissioners who are present today. I want to thank them in advance for their attention to the matters that we deal with on a regular basis. The constant flow of information from our staff to me and to our commissioners is outstanding. I've been in many commissions and boards throughout my career, and I can say that none is better equipped to be able to make sure that we are on top of all of the issues that are germane relative to our activity, and I want to thank you for that. With that, I want to call upon Director Small. Would you read the roll for the commissioners, please?
Yes, Chairman Thompson.
I'm here.
Vice Chair Fine.
Present.
Commissioner Cohen.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Our quorum is established. Now we'd like to call for approval of the minutes of March 21st meeting, 1924. Any questions or additions? You've all been sent those minutes. Are there any questions or additions? If not, I'm going to call for a motion to accept them as read or as submitted.
Move for approval.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to pass the minutes signify by stating aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Hearing none, they pass. Dr. Small, will you now provide the report of the executive director?
Sure.
That be you.
All right. For the new hires in the legal division, Zachary Watson, senior staff attorney. Zach received his undergraduate degree in philosophy and a minor in business from IUPUI. Zach received his law degree from Florida Coastal School of Law in 2012. He comes over with 10 years of experience at the Office of the Attorney General, working in unclaimed property, government litigation, asset recovery, and bankruptcy litigation departments. I would also like to welcome our new Chief Financial Officer, Patricia Brenneman. Patty was previously with Indiana University Health, where she held the positions of Senior Lead Financial Analyst and Tax Manager. Prior to that, Patty was with the Indiana Department of Revenue, beginning as Deputy Director of Audit and Compliance, and was later promoted to Director of Trust and Corporate Tax Operations. Patty holds a bachelor's degree in Business Administration and Health and Human Services from Bowling Green State University, a master's in accounting from Kelley School of Business, and an MBA from the University of Indianapolis. We also have a new addition to the audit division, and that's Aiden Arquette, field auditor. Aiden is a recent graduate of Indiana University Bloomington. He completed a finance internship during his course of study, and this has sparked his interest in understanding how that impacts our world. I would also like to announce two promotions. First, Ty Eblin. He has been promoted to the new role of investigation supervisor. And also Dan Shelton, who has been promoted to Director of Sports Wagering and Paid Fantasy Sports. Congratulations to both of them. Reinvestigations. Our investigations division has completed reinvestigations for the following licensees: Sports Radar Solutions, LLC, Every Payments, Inc. / Every Games, Inc., Gaming Entertainment Indiana, LLC, doing business as Rising Star Casino Resort, American Wagering, Inc., doing business as Caesars Sportsbook, Blue Sky Casino, LLC, doing business as French Lit Casino, Surveillance Systems Integration, Inc., and White Hat Gaming, Inc. The confidential reports are in your materials, Commissioners. Directors Brown and Leak are present should you have any questions. Exclusions. Since the March 2024 business meeting, Commission staff has added 19 individuals to the exclusion list. With these additions to the list, the total is now at 1,055 individuals. And finally, waivers. The IGC has granted 22 waivers to Indiana casinos since the previous meeting. This information is included in your materials and will also be posted to the Commission's website. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Our Executive Director Small will now administer the oath for all those making presentations today.
If you're going to present to the Commission, please stand. Repeat after me. I state your name. Do hereby and solemnly swear, subject to the penalties of perjury, to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, So help me God. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Commissioners, is there any old business to come before the commission today? Any old business? Hearing none. Any new business to come before the commission today? Hearing none, we'll move on to the new business under our patrons. First, we'll have a patron matters by Attorney Chris Neal, and I'll present orders 2024, 59, and 60.
Good morning, Commissioners, Executive Staff. You have before you Order 2024-59 concerning the petition for removal from the exclusion list of Viet Tran. Petitioner has been placed on the exclusion list for over 3 years and has petitioned to be removed from the exclusion list. A telephonic hearing was conducted at which petitioner provided support for his petition. And based on the totality of factors relevant in this matter, the reviewing officer has concluded that petitioner has not met the standard of clear and convincing evidence as reflected in staff's findings of fact and recommendation, and adopting staff's findings and recommendations would have the effect of denying petitioner's petition for removal from the statewide exclusion list.
Is there a motion on order 2024 through 60?
I'll make that motion to approve the recommendation.
Move on the exclusion removal. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye, please.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Neal. We continue on with your presentation of orders 2024-61 through 66.
Actually, that last one was 59, the current one is
59.
60.
Yeah, we still need to do order 60.
You still need to do 60. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And so now you have,
It's still you, though.
yes.
Okay, all right. I have to make sure we got the same players here. All right.
I'll be up for a while. so.
Okay.
But now you have Order 2024-60. Order 2024-60 concerns an appeal of a forfeiture by a voluntarily excluded person. Enrollment in the voluntary exclusion program is confidential, so that person will be referred to as petitioner. Petitioner was discovered at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana in 2021 when his winnings were seized by the commission as required by the voluntary exclusion program. The petitioner appealed the seizure of those winnings, and the administrative law judge assigned to the case granted the commission's motion for summary judgment, which approved the forfeiture and the remittance of the winnings to the commission and dismissing the appeal. As the ultimate authority on the matter, the commission filed its final order affirming the recommended order of the administrative law judge as required by Indiana Code 4-21.5-3-29C. Detailed information regarding that order and the procedural history of the case is contained in your confidential materials. Approving Order 2024-60 would have the effect of denying petitioner's objection to the commission's confidential final order. And denying that objection would have the effect of affirming the commission's confidential final order, which affirmed the recommended findings of fact, conclusions of law, and confidential order of the ALJ.
Commissioners, you've had to review those in your confidential package. Is there now a motion for on order 2024-60?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motions, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion passes. Since we still got you on the hook here, Mr. Neal, we keep on rolling here with our suppliers.
And now you have before you Order 2024-61.
There you go.
Pursuant to Indiana Code Section 4-33-7-8 and 68 Indiana Administrative Code Section 2-2-8, a supplier's license must be renewed each year along with the payment of a $7,500 renewal fee. Each of the following licensees has submitted a timely request for renewal along with the required payment. That would be White Hat Gaming, Konami Gaming Incorporated, Every Payments Incorporated, Gaming Arts, Neo Game Solutions LLC, Ainsworth Game Technology, United States Playing Card Company, Novomatic American Sales LLC, NRT Technology Corp., Vici Properties Incorporated, Acres Manufacturing, and Cambry Group PLC. Approving Order 2024-61 would have the effect of renewing the license of each of the respective licensees for a period of 1 year. And next on the agenda, you have before you Orders 2024 62 and 2024-63 regarding the renewal of Hard Rock Northern Indiana and Horseshoe Hammond Casino owners' license renewals respectively. Hard Rock Northern Indiana and Horseshoe Hammond have both filed the proper paperwork and paid their renewal fee. Previously, by orders 2023-54 and 2023-55, the commission had approved the written power of attorney for Hard Rock Northern Indiana and Horseshoe Hammond. These approvals expire upon the renewal of the casino owner's license, and for that reason, all casinos must request renewal of the commission's approval of the written power of attorney concurrently with the request for renewal, or present the commission with a new written power of attorney, naming a new trustee in waiting. Hard Rock Northern Indiana and Horseshoe Hammond have both stated their intent to maintain their existing trustees in waiting and have not presented the commission with any modifications. Approving orders 2024-62 and 2024-63 would have the effect of renewing the license and approving the power of attorney for Hard Rock Northern Indiana and Horseshoe Hammond for a period of 1 year. And next, you have before you Order 2024-64, and pursuant to Indiana Code Section 4-38-8-1, a certificate of authority must be renewed each year along with payment of a $50,000 renewal fee. Hard Rock Northern Indiana has submitted a timely request for renewal along with the required payment. Approving Order 2024-64 would have the effect of renewing Hard Rock Northern Indiana's certificate of authority for a period of 1 year. And next, you have before you Order 2024-65, pursuant to Indiana Code Section 4-38-6-6, a vendor's license must be renewed each year along with the payment of $50,000 renewal fee. Each of the following licensees has submitted a timely request for that renewal along with the required payment. That would be Seminole Hard Rock Digital LLC, doing business as Hard Rock Digital, Penn Sports Interactive, and Digital Gaming Corporation, doing business as Betway. Approving Order 2024-65 would have the effect of renewing the license of each of the respective licensees for a period of 1 year. And finally, you have before you Order 2024-66, pursuant to Indiana Code Section 4-33-24-15 and 68 Indiana Administrative Code Section 26-3-10. A paid fantasy sports operator license must be renewed each year along with payment of a $5,000 renewal fee. And each of the following certificate holders has submitted a timely request for that renewal along with the required payment. That is DK Crown Holdings Incorporated and FanDuel Incorporated. And approving that Order 2024-66 would have the effect of renewing the license of each of the respective licensees for a period of 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. With no objection, commissioners would like to take these all together in the motion on orders 2024-61 through 2024-66. Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion and a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please state aye, please.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Neal. Director of Financial Investigations, Danielle Week, will now present orders 2024 through 67. Morning, Danielle.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners and Executive Staff. Order 2024-67 will approve the permanent supplier license for Marone Holdings Limited. The company and its key persons have submitted the required applications and received temporary licenses issued by the IGC. Commission staff conducted background and financial investigations on the company, along with their substantial owners and key persons. Commission staff found no material derogatory information that would affect suitability of any of the applicants. Staff's final report has been provided in the confidential commission meeting documents. Approving Order 2024-67 will grant a permanent license to Marone Holdings Limited, subject to annual renewal. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Commissioners. You've received that information. And is there a motion on order 2024-67?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Ms. Lee. Deputy Attorney General Counsel Alex Dudley, will you now present orders 2024-68 and 69?
Morning, Commissioners and Executive Staff. You have before you orders 2024-68 and 69 concerning transfers of ownership. Order 2024-68 involves an ownership transfer between Indiana Supplier Licensee EDF Compliance LLC, doing business as Odds On Compliance LLC, and Integrity Compliance 360, formerly known as U.S. Integrity Incorporated. Upon receiving the transfer application, the commission completed a background and financial investigation, finding that the transferee was substantially compliant with Indiana statutes and regulations and finding no derogatory information that would affect transferee's suitability for holding the interest in odds on. Pursuant to Resolution 2012-151, emergency approval of this transfer was granted on March 22nd, 2024 via Order 2024-57. Order 2024-69 involves an ownership transfer between Indiana Permanent Casino Owners Licensee and Temporary Certificate of Authority to Conduct Sports Wagering Licensee, CDI-TH LLC, doing business as Terre Haute Casino Resort and Calder Race Course Incorporated. Both entities are subsidiaries of Churchill Downs Incorporated. Upon receiving the transfer application, the commission completed a background and financial investigation, finding that the transferee was substantially compliant with Indiana statutes and regulations and finding no derogatory information that would affect transferee's abilities for holding the interest in CDI-TH. Approving Order 2024-68 would have the effect of ratifying Order 2024-57, and approving Order 2024-69 would have the effect of approving the ownership transfer of CDI-TH.
Thank you, Mr. Dudley. And Commissioners, as has been submitted to you, is there a motion on orders 2024-68 and 69?
I'll make that motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you so much, Mr. Dudley. Ms. Bunton, Director of Compliance, will present disciplinary actions on orders 2024 through 70 through 94.
Hi there.
Morning.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and executive staff. You have before you 8 settlement agreements concerning disciplinary action against licensed suppliers, 12 settlement agreements concerning disciplinary action against casinos, 5 settlement agreements concerning disciplinary action against sports wagering operators. Order 2024-70 is a settlement agreement with Aristocrat Technologies, wherein the supplier violated the rules for shipping electronic gaming devices. Aristocrat agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,500. Order 2024-71 is a settlement agreement with Connections IT, wherein the supplier failed to renew 2 occupational licensees in a timely manner. Connections IT agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,000. Order 2024-72 is a settlement agreement with Incredible Technologies, wherein the supplier violated the rules for shipping electronic gaming devices. Incredible Technologies agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,500. Order 2024-73 is a settlement agreement with Interblock Luxury Gaming Products and includes 2 counts. In count 1, the supplier violated the rules for shipping electronic gaming devices. In count 2, the supplier violated the rules for the vendor log while performing work at Bally's Evansville. Interblock agreed to a monetary settlement of $2,500. Order 2024-74 is a settlement agreement with L&W Gaming Incorporated, doing business as Light & Wonder, wherein the supplier failed to file a Level 1 license application in a timely manner. Light & Wonder agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,500. Order 2024-75 is a settlement agreement with Patriot Gaming and Electronics, wherein the supplier violated licensing rules when an occupational licensee placed wagers at French Lick Resort Casino. Patriot agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,500. Order 2024-76 is a settlement agreement with the United States Playing Card Company, wherein the supplier violated the rules for shipping playing cards. The United States Playing Card Company agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,500. Order 2024-77 is a settlement agreement with Zuvid LLC, wherein the supplier failed to renew an occupational license in a timely manner. Zuvid agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,000. Order 2024-78 is a settlement agreement with Ameristar East Chicago, wherein the casino allowed a minor to access the casino floor on 6 separate occasions. Ameristar agreed to a monetary settlement of $27,000. Order 2024-79 is a settlement agreement with Bally's Evansville and includes 8 counts. In count 1, Bally's failed to notify surveillance while transporting funds on multiple occasions and failed to notify surveillance of a child support forfeiture. In count 2, Bally's violated the rules on the currency collection process. In count 3, Bally's violated the rules for sensitive keys on 2 separate occasions. In count 4, Bally's violated their internal controls when an electronic gaming device printed a ticket above the $11.99.99 threshold on 2 separate occasions.
and on one occasion, Bally's failed to notify the commission of the violation. In count 5, Bally's violated the rules of the soft count process. In count 6, Bally's violated the rules for live gaming device bills. In count 7, Bally's violated the rules for the vendor log on multiple occasions. In count 8, Bally's violated the rules of the voluntary exclusion program when a third-party vendor sent direct mail to 112 active participants. Bally's Evansville agreed to a monetary settlement of $73,700 and the submission of a corrective action plan for count 5. Order 2024-80 is a settlement agreement with Belterra Casino, includes 2 counts. In count 1, Belterra violated the rules for sensitive keys. In count 2, Belterra violated the rules for the removal, collection, and counting of live gaming device tip boxes. Belterra agreed to a monetary settlement of $2,500. Order 2024-81 is a settlement agreement with Blue Chip Casino and includes 3 counts. In count 1, Blue Chip violated the rules and their internal control procedures for the currency collection process and failed to notify gaming agents of an emergency drop of an electronic gaming device. In count 2, Blue Chip violated the rules for sensitive keys on 2 separate occasions. In count 3, Blue Chip violated the rules for the soft count process. Blue Chip agreed to a monetary settlement of $8,500. Order 2024-82 is a settlement agreement with Caesar Southern Indiana and includes 7 counts. In count 1, Caesar Southern Indiana violated the rules for electronic gaming devices and failed to notify the commission of the violation. In count 2, Caesar Southern Indiana violated the rules for sensitive keys on multiple occasions. In count 3, Caesar Southern Indiana violated the rules for the soft count process. In count 4, Caesar Southern Indiana violated the rules for the statewide exclusion list audit and failed to notify gaming agents of statewide excluded persons' presence on the casino floor on multiple occasions. In count 5, Caesar Southern Indiana violated the rules for live gaming device bills and credits. In count 6, Caesar Southern Indiana violated the rules for tips and gratuities. In count 7, Caesar Southern Indiana violated the rules for the voluntary exclusion program when a program participant was able to conduct a cash advance. Caesar Southern Indiana agreed to a monetary settlement of $22,000. Order 2024-83 is a settlement with French Lick Resort Casino and includes 2 counts. In count 1, French Lick violated the rules for sensitive keys on 3 separate occasions, and on one occasion, an occupational licensee failed to report the violation. In count 2, French Lick violated the rules for live gaming device bills. French Lick agreed to a monetary settlement of $5,000. Order 2024-84 is a settlement agreement with Hard Rock Northern Indiana and includes 2 counts. In count 1, Hard Rock allowed a minor to access the casino floor on 2 separate occasions. In count 2, Hard Rock violated the rules for live gaming device bills and credits. Hard Rock Northern Indiana agreed to a monetary settlement of $8,000. Order 2024-85 is a settlement agreement with Harris Hoosier Park and includes 2 counts. In count 1, Harris Hoosier Park violated the rules for sensitive keys on 2 separate occasions. In count 2, Harris Hoosier Park failed to safeguard assets when an emergency fire door was left unsecured and a patron was able to obtain access to the area. Harris Hoosier Park agreed to a monetary settlement of $4,000. Order 2024-86 is a settlement agreement with Hollywood Lawrenceburg and includes 3 counts. In count 1, Hollywood violated the rules for safeguarding assets and violated their internal controls of cage procedures. In count 2, Hollywood violated the rules for sensitive keys. And in count 3, Hollywood violated the rules for live gaming device bills. Hollywood agreed to a monetary settlement of $5,500. Order 2024-87 is a settlement agreement with Horseshoe Hammond and includes 3 counts. In count 1, Horseshoe violated the rules for the currency collection and their internal controls for emergency drops for electronic gaming devices. In count 2, Horseshoe Hammond violated the rules for sensitive keys on multiple occasions. In count 3, Horseshoe Hammond violated the licensing rules when multiple employees were found to be working without a level 3 license. Horseshoe Hammond agreed to a monetary settlement of $11,500. Order 2024-88 is a settlement agreement with Horseshoe Indianapolis and includes 8 counts. In count 1, Horseshoe Indianapolis failed to notify surveillance of an even exchange and failed to notify surveillance of money transport. In count 2, Horseshoe Indianapolis failed to notify gaming agents of a regulatory violation on 2 separate occasions. In count 3, Horseshoe Indianapolis allowed a minor to obtain access to the casino floor. In count 4, Horseshoe Indianapolis violated their internal control procedures for free bet blackjack. In count 5, Horseshoe Indianapolis violated the rules for progressive electronic gaming devices. In count 6, Horseshoe Indianapolis violated the rules for sensitive keys. In count 7, Horseshoe Indianapolis violated the rules for live gaming device inventory closures on multiple occasions. In count 8, Horseshoe Indianapolis violated the rules for live gaming device fills on multiple occasions. Horseshoe Indianapolis agreed to a monetary settlement of $15,250. Order 2024-89 is a settlement agreement with Rising Star, includes 3 counts. In count 1, Rising Star allowed a minor to obtain access to the casino floor. In count 2, Rising Star violated their internal control procedures for remote access to gaming systems. And in count 3, Rising Star violated the rules for live gaming device fills. Rising Star agreed to a monetary settlement of $3,500. Order 2024-90 is a settlement agreement with American Wagering, doing business as Caesar Sportsbook, and includes 4 counts. In count 1, Caesar Sportsbook failed to timely notify the commission of a termination for 2 occupational licensees. In count 2, Caesar Sportsbook failed to file 7 level 1 license applications in a timely manner. In count 3, Caesar Sportsbook violated the rules for geolocation. In count 4, Caesar Sportsbook violated the rules for the vendor log while performing work at Bally's Evansville. Caesar Sportsbook agreed to a monetary settlement of $16,000. Order 2024-91 is a settlement agreement with Crown Indiana Gaming, LLC, doing business as DraftKings, wherein the operator violated the licensing rules when an employee was working without a level 2 license. DraftKings agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,500. Order 2024-92 is a settlement agreement with PointsBet Indiana, LLC, operating as Fanatics, wherein the operator violated the rules for prohibited participants when a prohibited participant was allowed to place wagers on their platform. Fanatics agreed to a monetary settlement of $2,500. Order 2024-93 is a settlement agreement with Penn Sports Interactive, operating as ESPN Bet, wherein the operator failed to timely notify the commission of a termination for 3 occupational licensees. ESPN Bet agreed to a monetary settlement of $1,000. Order 2024-94 is a settlement agreement with BetMGM, LLC, doing business as Roar Digital, and includes 2 counts. In count 1, Roar Digital failed to renew 7 occupational licensees in a timely manner. In count 2, Roar Digital violated the rules for prohibited participants when a prohibited participant was allowed to place wagers on their platform. Roar Digital agreed to a monetary settlement of $7,500. Relevant details for each settlement agreement have been provided in your meeting materials. Each settlement agreement will also be available on the commission's website following the meeting. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Button. Any questions of Ms. Button? Commissioners? Hearing none, is there a motion on orders 2024-70 through 2024-94?
So moved.
Motion is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very
Thank
much. Mr. Dudley, occupational licenses.
Commissioners, at the outset, I would like to note that Order 2024-96 has been removed from the agenda. Next you have before you Order 2024-95 concerning the felony waiver application of Wesley Scott. An individual who has a felony conviction may not be granted an occupational license. However, the individual may be allowed to request a waiver. Mr. Scott provided testimony about his rehabilitation, demonstrated ownership of past mistakes, and that this was an isolated incident in his past and showed that he had successfully completed probation. Detailed information is contained in your confidential materials. Adopting staff's findings and recommendation would have the effect of granting Mr. Scott's felony waiver application.
Okay, is there a motion on order 2024-95? The exclusion of 24-96 has been removed, and also note that that's been moved. Is there on the other orders? Is there a motion for approval?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion carries.
Next, you have before you orders 2024-97 through 100 concerning applications for occupational licenses. These applicants failed to disclose their complete criminal history and/or had a felony conviction and therefore failed to meet the established standards for licensure. Applicants were given an opportunity to withdraw their application but failed to do so. Detailed information is contained in your confidential materials. Approving orders 2024-97 through 100 would have the effect of denying these applications.
Is there a motion on orders 2024 through 97 through 100?
So moved.
There's a motion and a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And the last you have before you orders 2024-101 through 105 concerning settlement agreements between commission staff and occupational licensees. In lieu of disciplinary action, commission staff offered each of these licensees a settlement agreement that would have them agree to an unpaid voluntary relinquishment of their occupational license for a period of regularly scheduled working days with no vacation or other paid time off to be used. Each of these licensees has agreed to the terms of the settlement, and detailed information is contained in your confidential materials. Approving orders 2024-101 through 105 would have the effect of ratifying the settlement agreements.
Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Any questions of him? Is there a motion on orders 2024-101 through 105?
Move to approve. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Dudley. General Counsel Dennis Mellon, you'll give us a presentation, please, on order 2024-106 on VICI properties.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the commission. Order 2024-106 concerns a request by supplier licensee Vici Properties, Inc., a real estate investment trust or REIT, to exercise a call option to purchase the real estate assets related to Harrah's Hoosier Park and Horseshoe Indianapolis. The call option contemplates Vici leasing those properties back to Caesars Entertainment through a triple net lease, with Caesars continuing gaming operations at both locations. The call option concerning the properties was entered into by Vici and Caesars when Eldorado Resorts, Inc. engaged in a public merger with Caesars in 2020. By Order 2020-87, the commission approved, among other things, Eldorado's acquisition of Caesars. However, the exercise of the call option and consummation of the acquisition of the property's real estate assets requires commission analysis and approval under relevant Indiana code and Indiana regulatory sections. The commission reviews proposed transactions under 68 IAC 531 subsection C to analyze the financial health of a casino licensee and to ensure that the casino owner's license is not leased or hypothecated as a result of the transaction. In this instance, if the potential exercise of the call option and corresponding acquisition of the real estate assets is approved and later consummated, then the previously approved lease between Vici and Caesars will be revised to allow the addition of the properties into the existing regional lease. Commission Background and Financial Investigations Division have completed a comprehensive investigation into the transaction. In addition, the commission has received and reviewed a confidential analysis of the proposed acquisition from the commission's outside financial analyst, Dan Roberts of DR Financial Consulting, LLC. Commission staff has presented the final investigative reports to the commission for review. Approval of this request would be conditioned on several items, including the following. The terms articulated in the transaction documentation do not materially differ from the terms that have been presented. The terms of the final documentation do not violate the applicable statutory provisions. Caesars must provide the commission with a legal opinion demonstrating compliance with relevant statutory provisions. The call option must be exercised on or before December 31st, 2024, with the closing of the call option to occur thereafter in accordance with the transaction documentation. And lastly, the parties shall determine whether this transaction requires approval from the Indiana Horse Racing Commission and advise IGC staff of any approval granted. In addition to those conditions, this order will also impose certain notice requirements on Caesars and Vici. These are continuing requirements from the Caesars-Vici relationship most recently reaffirmed via Commission Order 2021-121. And finally, the order would waive the so-called two meeting requirements of 68 IAC 5. Thank you very much, Commissioners. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Yeah, yes. Any remarkable difference in a REIT than in any other kind of holding on the multi-tier lease?
So that is one aspect that our financial analyst, Dan Roberts, analyzed. Of course, a lot of the information in his report is trade secret and financial information, but the ultimate conclusion there is no. And this would be the 7th and 8th properties placed into real estate investment trusts related to gaming in the state of Indiana.
So there's precedent and adequate precedent
Correct.
for continuing with that. Commissioners, you have any other questions of General Counsel? You all have the opportunity to review and discuss. Can I accept a motion on 2024-107? 106, excuse me. Got ahead of myself again.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. In discussion? All those in favor state aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, all the motion carries. I told you I was trying to get through this meeting, in record time, on the longest day of the year if we'd enjoyed most of it, right? Mr. Dudley, good to see you again.
Yeah, this is the last time you have to see me today.
Okay.
You have before you Order 2024-107 regarding an amendment to the local development agreement that was entered into by the Board of Commissioners of Vigo County, Indiana, and CDITH. The amendment establishes an escrow account for LDA payments until the foundation has been created. The fully executed and amended LDA has been included in your materials and is a public document. Pursuant to Resolution 2012-151, this amended LDA was approved on May 10th, 2024 via Order 2024-58. Pursuant to Indiana Code 4-33-23 and Resolution 2012-151, approval of Order 2024-107 would have the effect of ratifying Order 2024-58.
Any sense on completion time for any sense of it?
From my discussions with counsel for Churchill, it seems that they and the commissioners are working towards that and seem to be getting close to that in the near future.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I can confirm Mr. Dudley's response to that question, and commission staff continues to be in communication with the parties. I know they're communicating, and I believe they're present today too, if they have anything to add to that question.
Well, generally, our responsibility as a commission is to be sure that money is directed and allocated appropriately to those communities in need. I realize that the money is being held in escrow and that it's accumulating and going into that account, but the sooner the money is allocated to communities, the sooner and the better than we're overseeing. So we're just looking for some sort of sunset on those matters. But we'll thank you for the answer to that, and I
You're
would
welcome.
direct staff to continue to herd that process to be sure that we can get some conclusion on that.
Of course.
Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Is there a motion on the Order 2024-107? You have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed with the same sign. Hearing none, that motion carries. Thank you very much. Mr. Neal?
Hello again, Commissioners. You have before you Order 2024-108. Order 2024-108 concerns promoter licensee D&M Promotion doing business as DM Fight Promotions. DM Fight Promotions was issued its most recent promoter's license on October 28, 2023, and obtained a surety bond as required by Indiana Code 4-33-22-32B and IAC 68 IAC 24-3-13. On January 20th, 2024, DM Fight Promotions held an approved boxing event in Gary, Indiana. To date, DM Fight Promotions has failed to pay any commission reimbursement fees or ticket taxes related to that event and has failed to respond to numerous contact attempts by commission staff. Pursuant to Section 5 of Commission Resolution 2010-127, the recovery of required payments through a promoter licensee's bond must be approved by the commission. Detailed information regarding the order is contained in your confidential materials. Approving Order 2024-108 would have the effect of allowing commission staff to exercise a claim on DM5 promotion surety bond and the outstanding balance, for the outstanding balance.
You've heard the report from Mr. Bentley. Any, Mr. Neal, any questions regarding that? Is there a motion on Order 2024-108?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any questions? Discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Neal. Now, consistent with our past practice that we've had, and I think it's been very helpful to me and I think to the other commissioners, we've had various reports from our commission relative to individual areas of work. And I know when I made that request, it sounded like it might be a little bit more work than necessary, but as I understand, our staff has enjoyed making those presentations, and we've really appreciated a little closer view of that. And with that in mind, we're going to listen to a little bit about our audit process and audit division. And we have our Director of Audit, Mr. Quist here.
Good morning, Commissioners and Executive Staff. My name is William Quist, more formerly Billy. Today I'm going to go present here the Audit Division to continue the Commission's efforts for increased transparency. Our mission in audit is providing assurance that revenue is reported accurately and ensuring that the operational controls meet the expectations of the regulations and rules set forth. A little summary for today. I will discuss our team, special work product, our usual work product, explain the monthly revenue report, and report on some of the performance of our state. Before you is an org chart for our audit division. Jennifer Jackson is my assistant director. Then I have two field auditor ones, Michelle Parker and Joshua Cooley. And then my field auditor twos are Miles Barrage, Karen Kidd, Nathan Pello, Charles Crocker, and Aiden Arquette. I actually have my team here except for Charles. Go ahead and stand up, give us a wave. I can laser point to them.
The way they won't fall asleep on us either.
Yeah.
So stand up and
To kind of go into more about the team, let's talk more about us. I started out working for Boyd Gaming in Louisiana and Indiana for almost 10 years before joining the Indiana Gaming Commission in July of 2018. I am an Indiana licensed CPA and a certified internal auditor. These certifications have require many hours of continuing professional education. The CPA currently is at 120 hours for a 3-year reporting period, and the CIA requires 40 hours a year, including 2 hours of ethics. Miles, Charles, and Joshua are each working on certifications of their own. Our focus for the team is to have a curious and customer service-oriented people. We all have accounting and business degrees. It's important that our team is developed to protect the state with accurate tax payments. Additionally, we strive to ensure that we work efficiently with casino staff to reduce our impact to the business. The audit division works on many projects that come to the commission. My first task coming to the commission was overseeing the electronic tax system refresh to a brand new web-based application. This update provided for increased efficiency for both the casinos and the state when auditing the daily tax filings. When the legislator makes changes to our gaming statutes, those changes will have an impact on how the audit division must operate. These changes include tax rate changes, the addition of sports wagering, and moving up the launch of table games at the racinos. We have to update, change, and create new procedures to maintain a high level of work. Large casino capital projects like the Caesar Southern Indiana land transition, Hard Rock Casino transition, and the Terre Haute Casino launch require a joint effort of both the compliance and audit divisions to complete. We must work together to meet the opening dates for these projects. All of these projects opened on time. Lastly, the audit division must oversee the revenue reporting of new sports wagering operators or the change over to a new system for existing operators. These reports and audits must be vetted before launching to ensure that accurate and timely tax reporting is done. Our core assignments are the daily tax filings and the monthly payment verification. This is the most important task that we complete to ensure accurate and timely reporting of taxes to the state. Additionally, we review and approve a substantial amount of the internal controls. Most internal controls are related to revenue reporting. Our field audits revolve around the main gaming areas of cage, slots, table games, and sports wagering. This involves observing activity and examining records. This activity is checked against the internal controls, rules, and statutes. The audit division also contributes to the disparity audit by auditing the purchasing data reported and providing assurance that the data can be used for analysis. Lastly, we receive monthly financial statements and other information, and we'll bring you to that on this next slide. Here's a list of the monthly reports that we receive and audit. These reports include data about the financial health, employment, capital expenditures, and marketing spend for each individual property. Now let's go over how the public revenue report is put together. I used the most common questions from the public to develop these slides. The monthly revenue report is a compilation of the month's daily tax filings. There are a few important elements to understand. If a year-to-date figure is referenced, the period is the state's fiscal year. It's important to remember that the tax rates are progressive, just like your personal federal income taxes. The state fiscal year is the period used for tax calculation as well. Hard Rock Casino is currently taxed in a special way to act like 2 licenses still exist. This condition ends on June 30th, 2025, as the statute dictates. The 2 racinos, Harris Hoosier Park and Horseshoe Indianapolis, only 88% of their AGR is taxable. This is how win is calculated for table games and slots. Table win is simply adding cash, adding the markers issued at the table game, adding any coupons and offers. This is like table game free play. The game's closing chip inventory, the game's opening inventory, table credits. This is when chips are transferred off of a game, minus table fills. This is when chips are added to a game. All these items added together equal table win. Slot win is the cash, the tickets inserted into each slot machine, the free play used at the slot machine, and then minus any jackpots paid out. This includes any manual hand pays by casino staff and tickets printed by the slot machine. These 2 calculations give us the total gaming win that you see on the report. Next, we have the free play deduction. The statute allows up to $9 million in deduction in the state fiscal year. Up to $7 million can be assigned to other licensees. The other field on the revenue report contains all of the items that don't fit in the win calculation. And there's like a comprehensive list there of all those different items. Now we move on to sports wagering. Sports wagering gross receipts is equal to the handle, which is any amount wagered minus the wagers paid out, minus the wagers voided, minus the wagers canceled. Then either you add or subtract resettlements. Resettlements depend on the issue with the grading of the wager. That will determine if we add or subtract to the calculation. The adjustments contain the elements, again, that don't fit into win. And I have listed them right here on the right. Then a little more background. This is where Indiana operates a little differently than most states. The activity reported is the combination of all the sports wagering venues. A day's loss is from the combination of activities, not from one single venue. So you can see that retail is added with all the online websites, and that gives you a gross. Then you can have your adjustments, and that together is your taxable AGR. That's where a loss would be determined. Lastly, I wanted to touch on how Indiana is performing since inception and including up to May 2024. Wagering tax is at $15,726,076,649. Supplemental and emissions tax is at $2,009,571,559. Wagering tax is at $141,059,218. And gaming win since inception is $61,010,480,154. This chart on the right is of the gaming win for the past 5 state fiscal years. I added a very small estimate for June. The estimate is simply if June is the exact same as May, since we now have Terre Haute to consider. Then on this next slide, as for sports wagering, the top chart shows the handle by state fiscal year. Once again, I used a simple estimate for June by using June of the prior year to match us close to the sports schedule at the time of year. The bottom chart shows how the taxes compare to each year. Very straightforward. It's always good to remember football, basketball, and parlays are the favorites for our state. And then any questions? Keeping it quick. Get out here? Let's get it.
I appreciate that. How do we stack up with peer states or adjacent states in a relative way?
You know, we stack up fairly well, starting with, it's always good to, first compare us with Illinois. Illinois is, and, you're looking at age, a mature gaming market and a market that has added significant gaming positions, VLTs across the state. They continue to add casino licenses. It's a really tough state to compete with. We're always watching to see how Chicago is going. It will be really interesting to see how the Wind Creek property will compete with our Northwest Indiana properties. It's a state that we watch, very carefully because they certainly could have some of the most stronger impact. Then you look over, I would move over to Kentucky, not Kentucky. I would leave Kentucky last, but Ohio. Ohio, fairly young, but really only competing in our southeast market. And so you really could see how that changes the market there. And then Kentucky has altered Southern Indiana a little bit. We always have to remember that they are operating Class 2 games. And so our biggest allure for our state is we have full Class 3 games and Kentucky does not. If Kentucky continues to stay the same with Class 2, then there will be customers who are looking for Class 3 games in Indiana. And then towards the north with Michigan, it's always hard to tell when you're competing with the tribal casinos up north. But that's kind of how you look at the different areas, since they are primarily border casinos.
Thank you. That's a pretty good overview.
Yeah.
Now just one grimy question. I don't know.
Oh,
much
yeah.
about it, but operating systems throughout all of our casinos, are they disparate or are they somewhat consistent or?
Well, the reporting, so all the operating systems go through GLI, the lab, to make sure that their revenue reports all meet a GLI standard. So there is some differences, and even within iterations of the system, if a property is on a much older version of a system versus a newer version, you can see a little bit of the differences. But that's where, I look at where my team is kind of spread out, where I make sure that everyone is experiencing the different gaming systems in order to kind of stay on top of it. And I think over time, and including myself and one of my field auditors, Michelle, we both have worked for casinos. And once we came here, we could easily shift gears to a different casino company's product because there's only one way to calculate table win and slot win. So it really didn't hamper us too much.
Just wondering if there's any drive toward uniformity or any kind of way for that to ultimately ease your day.
Yeah.
Commissioners, those are my questions. Do you have any others?
I've got a question on your
Fire
staff.
away.
On your staff, how many do you have other CPAs other than yourself?
No, I currently do not. Josh is working on his certified managerial accounting, and Miles and Charles are working on certified internal auditors.
That was
I
my
do
next
have some.
question.
I do have some younger staff where we do need some. They would need a little more education and requirements to be eligible for licensure. But then with the recent changes for the state of reducing the hours for testing, that's certainly helpful.
Do you have financial incentives for them to pursue?
I have
Licenses.
as much as the state can allow for me.
Okay. I've been there and I've
Yeah.
done that. Yeah. I guess that's one of my questions. And how about your turnover? Do you have much
Turnover has been very good. We very much, when I came on board, we had a staff that was, eyeing retirement, and really they've all the people that I came into have retired, and then I've basically brought everyone here, and we really have a minimum amount of turnover which is great for such a small department.
That's good. That's a reflection on you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's our financial wizard of the
Yeah.
commission. Bunch of lawyers around here. Any other questions, commissioners? Well, thank you so very much for your presentation, and Mr. Director, thank you for continuing to bring us forth a little more education relative to how we function and meeting that goal of transparency that I was looking for, and I appreciate that. Any other questions from commissioners? Senior staff? Then I think I will accept the motion to adjourn. We are hereby adjourned. Slid in right there at the hour, folks. No, you did great. My questions are, they